Mira had been the watcher for 77 nights. The diner knew her, trusted her, bled for her, but something else was watching it now. The road outside warped further, looping in on itself, bleeding new mile markers that hadn't existed. Entities no longer waited to be summoned by rules. Some arrived uninvited. And the rule book, it had begun to whisper. Caleb wasn't gone. He was writing from the other side. Chapter 1. The Voice Between Pages. Mira awoke to the rulebook humming. Not vibrating, humming. A low, throaty drone that seemed to crawl under her skin. The pages turned on their own. Rule 77. The old watcher is not dead. He is dreaming of the fire. At 3:33 a.m., the jukebox played a new song. It hadn't existed before, an old field hymn sung backward. Customers began to cry black tears. A boy entered the diner no older than 9. He had Caleb's eyes. "They buried him wrong," the boy said, and then he vanished. Chapter 2. Reverberations. Mira and the new hire, Jude, a former paramedic who arrived after a wrong turn off the I-19, discovered that time was now a suggestion. Clocks cracked, reversed, and looped. Jude found himself reliving his first shift multiple times. Each repeat ended differently. Sometimes he bled from the ears. Other times he simply woke with one less tooth. Rule 81. Time lost in the diner can never be regained, only replaced. Mira considered burning the rule book. She tried once. It screamed. Chapter 3. Caleb's Book. The black book Mira took from the trapdoor had started writing itself. The ink was ash. Each page came with a scent: sulfur, rot, sweetgrass. One night a phrase appeared, scrawled in jagged script. The fire remembers. Mira saw Caleb in dreams now, not alive, not dead, suspended in a space between thought and flesh, his body stitched to the ceiling of an obsidian room. He was still the watcher, just on the other side. Chapter 4. The Visitor. A man in red arrived during a blackout. He wore a velvet jacket, no shoes, and his shadow held a knife. He didn't speak, but every time he blinked, a rule appeared on the diner's surfaces. Rule 88. The man in red is not to be served. He is to be remembered. Rule 89. If he hums, all must leave the diner, except the watcher. When he finally spoke, his voice was Caleb's. "We're not guarding a place, Mira. We're guarding a seal." Then the floor cracked. Chapter 5. Breach. The trapdoor no longer existed. In its place was a spiral staircase of flesh and brick leading downward into red smoke. Mira descended once with Jude. Below was a shrine, bones bent into arches, ceiling dripping blood like dew, and in the center, an altar of black stone with a rib cage upon it. The rib cage pulsed. "It's the diner's heart," Jude whispered. Rule 95. If you reach the heart, do not touch it. If it speaks, lie. The rib cage whispered, "Where is Caleb?" Mira lied. It did not believe her. Chapter 6. The Hollow Guest. A regular arrived, an elderly woman with no tongue and mirrored eyes. She smiled at Mira and left a tip of teeth. Rule 97. If they tip with something that bleeds, do not return it. The teeth spelled her name that night across the counter. Chapter 7. The Devourer. The diner gained a new booth. It had not existed before, one more than the floor plan allowed. Customers who sat there never left. On night 121, Mira watched as a regular. A man who always ordered the chili sat in the booth, screamed, and melted into the upholstery. The booth sighed in satisfaction. Rule 101. The 13th booth feeds on guilt. Do not assign it to the innocent. Mira began hearing whispers in the pots and pans. They said her name. They said Caleb's. They said something was coming back. Chapter 8. Jude's Farewell. Jude tried to burn the rule book again. His skin turned to parchment. He became a page. Now, when Mira flips to Rule 104, Jude's eyes blink from the lines. Rule 104. If the helper becomes the memory, do not read him aloud. Mira was alone again. The diner began to hum differently, off-key. Cracks formed in the air itself. Behind them was a darkness that watched. Chapter 9. The Puppeteer. The lights flickered. A marionette appeared at table 5. No strings, no puppeteer. It ordered root beer and mimicked Myra's movements perfectly. Rule 105. If something copies you, leave the diner immediately. Myra stayed. She won't again. Chapter 10. The Return. On night 135, the doors opened with no chime. Caleb walked in. But not the Caleb she knew. His skin was too smooth, his smile too wide. He radiated wrong. "I'm home," he said. Myra stepped back. Rule 110. If the old watcher returns uninvited, he is no longer your friend. He sat at the counter, ordered coffee. The liquid turned to bone marrow. "The seal broke," he whispered. "You need to rebuild it, or everything spills." Chapter 11. The Other Diner. A storm blew in. With it, another diner appeared across the road. Identical, empty, flickering. When Myra crossed the highway to inspect it, time shifted. Inside were alternate versions of herself, one who ran, one who died, one who joined the thing beneath. Each gave her a piece of a map. The final one said, "Caleb never left. He is the seal, and he's cracking." Myra awoke in the real diner with blood on her hands. Chapter 12. The Binding. Myra found a ritual etched into the bone book, one to repair the seal. It required 3 offerings, a memory, a rule, and a name. She sacrificed her memory of her mother. She removed Rule 1 from the book. The man who ordered liver never returned. She whispered her own name into the freezer. Rule 117. If the watcher forgets their name, they are safe from mirrors. The diner sighed. The air calmed for a while. Then a new rule appeared. Rule 118. You have delayed the end, not prevented it. Chapter 13. The Whisper Hive. The vents began to speak. They spoke in riddles and memories Myra never lived. She listened too long one night and forgot what her own voice sounded like. Rule 119. Do not listen to what hums inside the walls after 2:47 a.m. Chapter 14. The Burned God. The man in red returned, this time wrapped in barbed wire. He screamed as he entered. The booth devoured the sound. He spoke of the burned god, the one the original tribe had tried to trap in memory. The diner was a prison of rituals and routine. But memory fails, and when the last rule is forgotten, the god will rise. Mira asked how many rules remained. He said, "You've forgotten 37. Chapter 15. Ghost Orders. The tickets began printing without customers. Each item was something no longer served. Boar tongue, lightning pie, regret. Mira served them anyway. Ghosts began to linger longer. Chapter 16. Ashfall. Ash fell from the ceiling. The diner caught fire, but the flames were cold. Entities flooded in. No rules applied. They danced. They screamed. They bled on the floors and called it baptism. Mira fought her way to the shrine. Caleb was chained there now, his flesh turning to stone. "Finish it," he whispered. "Replace me." She refused. She broke the altar. The diner shrieked. Chapter 17. The Shard Storm. Broken reflections rained from the sky. Each one showed a different fate for Mira: death, transcendence, madness. She chose none. She chose herself. Rule 127. You may choose your own ending, but it will not listen. Chapter 18. The Hollowing. Each customer left a piece of Mira behind: a hair, a breath, a smile. By morning, she felt hollow. Rule 130. Never serve the hollow 7 in succession. They consume continuity. Chapter 19. The Final Shift. Mira wrote her own rule. The diner only ends when the watcher stops believing in it. The walls breathed, the booths groaned, the flames stopped being cold. She stepped outside. The highway stretched longer than before. Chapter 20. The Fracture. The diner still stands, but it is cracked now, split across timelines and memory. Mira is still inside, but so is someone else. A girl with her eyes and none of her memories. The watcher's role has fractured. 2 books now sit at the counter. And outside, along the highway, diners are starting to appear in other places, other realities. A storm brews. The burned god smiles.